Bangladesh government itself has actually taken up cudgels against this system. But despite being on the same side of the argument, we find an awkward situation where the students were in confrontation with the Bangladesh government. That obviously leads you to one conclusion, that there was some kind of an external factor which has entered into this. And we are aware that Bangladesh is a country which is very crucial to India. And therefore, anything which happens here, anything in terms of instability, will only contribute to a threat to India's own stability and India's national security. So obviously, those who are ranged against India, those nations on our flanks which are ranged against us, are the ones who are obviously interested in carrying out this kind of an interference. The last point on this issue is that Bangladesh has got a history of a running fight between the radical elements and the more pragmatic secular elements within the country. This is an attempt perhaps by the radical elements to try and gain preponderance over those who promote the more secular and more liberal form of governance. India's foreign policy is based very largely on our neighborhood first policy. And within the neighborhood first policy, I think we give a tremendous amount of priority to Bangladesh. Leave out Pakistan, the rest of South Asia. We know this is the most populous country. We have had a hand in its own independence. We've had a close relationship, although a very close political government-to-government relationship. Somehow the people-to-people relationship sometimes has been questioned because of India's support to the government and the Bangladesh government, particularly in the last 15 years, not having been completely democratic in its outlook. And this has been the prime reason why there has been concern about this relationship which exists between the government-to-government level and not so much at the people-to-people level or the government-to-people level. The threats which can emerge, obviously this is a 4,000-kilometer border, the longest border that India enjoys with any country. We don't want any kind of instability here. We don't want internal instability in Bangladesh. Last time we know, in 1971, what happened? The outflow of almost a million, more than a million refugees who came out, led directly to the war with Pakistan. We are also concerned about the possible movement of minorities from this area, the kind of treatment which could be meted out to these minorities if a wrong kind of a anti-Indian element comes into power in Bangladesh. We are also concerned about the security, stability of the Northeast, the infrastructure which supports the Northeast, with which we have had a lot of cooperation with Bangladesh. So all this is a matter of major concern because our Northeast is hugely dependent on the status of our relationship with Bangladesh. Now, in terms of our relationship with the Bangladesh Army, which is such an important element in this entire game, I would say the two armies have enjoyed a very good service-to-service relationship. We have served in the United Nations, we've served in New York, our officers know each other fairly well. We have regular visits to each other's countries, we have a military-to-military cooperation. So I don't foresee any problem on that front. If the Bangladesh Army has to be in control over the next couple of years, we've experienced that also before. So the government of India has had experience of dealing with the army when it is in political authority in Bangladesh. I think largely the Bangladesh Army itself is a stable, a secular, liberal element which would not want to see mainstream Bangladesh get radicalized in any form. They are the ones who have been the bulwark, who have resisted the march of the radical elements within Pakistan. And I dare say, I'm quite certain that the possibility of Pakistan exploiting the current situation to try and influence the Bangladesh Army is likely to be resisted to a great extent by the army itself.
For exclusive and insightful videos, subscribe to our new channel ABP Live Premium.